Alright guys, so I kid you not, as soon as I got out of this movie, I wanted to drive to Burger King and get myself a grilled dog. I was that hungry. Do not go into this movie on an empty stomach, guys. Bad choice. Anyway, hey there guys, what's up, what's going on? It is Autobot Mike 18 here, back with another movie review. Guys, I am going to be reviewing a movie that, let's just say this much, it's breaking ground for sure in the field of R-rated comedies. Guys, I'm going to be reviewing Sausage Party in this video. That's right, this poster is real. This is a real thing. Yeah, look at that. Immediately, this poster says it all. This poster says everything that this movie stands for. Right there. Look at that. Right there. Do you get it? Okay, good. Guys, Sausage Party is an R-rated animated comedy film from the same guys who brought us This Is the End. Films like This Is the End, The Interview, Neighbors. That's right, guys. Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, the directors of This Is the End, got together and wrote the screenplay for this movie, and they got the directors of DreamWorks' Monsters vs. Aliens to direct Sausage Party. And this has been a big thing. I think this premiered at the South by Southwest Film Festival earlier this year. People were buzzing about this movie, and then when the trailers dropped for this movie, I'll never forget. I watched them with my film class during class one day. We just pulled up the trailer, and we were all like losing our minds. We're like, "Holy shit, this is actually a thing!" Like they actually went that far and made this movie into a thing. That's freaking amazing. So, guys. Let's get into the premise behind Sausage Party, and then, of course, I'll get into my thoughts. Guys, Sausage Party focuses on food. Food that can talk. Food that has stick arms with white gloves, as you can tell. And food that can walk. And food that resides within a grocery store called Shopwells, okay? And the longtime dream and goal of these different food, any kind of food, any food you could think of is probably in this movie. Chips, tortillas, bagels, hot dogs, they're all in it, okay? Drinks, even products that aren't food, products that are sold in a grocery store, they are in this movie and they can talk, okay? So, the long-time dream of food in general is to be chosen by the gods, aka humans, and taken into what is referred to as the great beyond. Now, food doesn't know what specifically is going to happen to them once they are in the great beyond, but they just have heard great stories, and it's amazing. It's an amazing, magical, mystical place where great things happen, okay, with food and the gods, okay? So, yeah, they're wrong. But we specifically focus on a package of hot dogs and a package of hot dog buns. And the main hot dog is voiced by Seth Rogen, and the main hot dog bun is voiced by Kristen Wiig. They are both in a relationship. Let's just put it this way. They want to get together. And something goes wrong when one specific food item returns from the great beyond back to the grocery store and tells them, listen, this is not all cracked up this is not what it's cracked up to be. The great beyond sucks. It's awful. Bad things happen there. So the food gets scared and now they have to warn other food. There you go. Sausage Party. It's about talking food, guys. What more could you possibly ask for? So guys, yes, Sausage Party. When I saw the trailer, and again, when I heard the premise of this movie, I immediately got excited. I said, shit, that's great. That's great. We've never had this before in a movie. Not only have we never had an R-rated animated comedy, not that I could think of any, but we've never had a movie about animated food, or at least we have. It was called Food Fight. Let's not talk about that. I heard it was awful. Never seen it myself personally. But an animated R-rated comedy from the minds of Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, who will literally throw in any excessive, vulgar, like over-the-top humor, toilet bowl humor that they could possibly throw in there. Yeah. I'm down. Give me my money. Here I am. So, guys, in the end, the verdict for me for Sausage Party is that, yes, this is a different type of movie. And I absolutely applaud the screenwriters and the directors and the filmmakers for going for this type of movie. I actually, Seth Rogen was on Movie Fights recently, and I watched that episode, and he said that this movie took a couple years to make, actually. I believe that they had the screenplay or the idea of Sausage Party in the early 2000s, and it took them forever to get funding and to get the movie like approved and to actually write out the screenplay and everything. So I immediately give a filmmaker credit when they have an idea early on and they want to bring that idea to life, but it takes them longer than it should to get the idea growing and everything. But so I thought that was great that they had this idea for so long. And I think it absolutely paid off that we finally got an R-rated animated comedy film called Sausage Party with about every single thing you've come to expect from a Seth Rogen movie. Guys, I have to preface this before going any further. If you don't like Seth Rogen movies, if you don't like his type of humor, well, you're not going to like Sausage Party, okay? You're probably going to hate this movie, to be honest. If you hated This Is the End, if you hated The Interview, if you hate movies with that excessive type of humor, you're not going to like it. And by excessive type of humor, I mean incredibly over-the-top, abundant weed jokes and jokes involving drugs all over this movie. Excessive sexual innuendo, sexual references, sexual acts occurring on screen. Yes, I kid you not. That's happening in this movie. You're not going to like this movie. If you don't like excessive amount of profanity and vulgarity in dialogue, you're not going to like this movie. So, yeah, if you haven't liked his movies in the past, it's suffice to say to just stay away from it altogether. But I myself, personally, as a fan of comedies, I feel that's one of the best ways to do a comedy nowadays. Honestly, in my opinion, it is. I feel that some of Seth Rogen's previous movies, like This Is the End, that's one of my favorite comedies of the last decade because of not only the excessiveness and the over-the-top quality to it and the vulgarity and everything, but also that movie worked a lot. It held up with star power and pop culture references. And that's another reason why Sausage Party, in my mind, holds up as well, because of the voice cast that was picked. Can't wait to get into that. As well as a few, but not too many pop culture references. But mind you, going into this movie expecting pop culture references was a dumb thing on my part because this is food. Guys, we're focusing on food characters. Bagels, tacos, sausages. They don't know pop culture. They know food, pop culture, and everything, okay? But don't get me wrong, Seth Rogen still manages to put in a few references to movies and to music in the film, and I think it's genius. It actually worked quite well, and I gotta give him credit for what he tried to do with it. Let's quickly talk about the voice cast, because I have to mention, mostly every single actor that was in This Is the End is in this movie, and that's not a bad thing. Okay, Seth Rogen voices the main sausage, Jonah Hill, Michael Cera, James Franco sneaks into the movie at some point, Paul Rudd, Craig Robinson, I'm trying to do all of this by memory, Kristen Wiig, Salma Hayek, Danny McBride is in this movie, Nick Kroll, Edward Norton is even in this movie, okay? Cool. Yeah, this has a really stuffed voice cast. It's hard to pick and point out a few of them. Like, I didn't point out James Franco right away. I was like, where is he, actually? I didn't know. And I definitely didn't know Paul Rudd was in the movie until the end credits. I had no idea. But then a few other actors you could clearly tell, like, oh, that's Seth Rogen, obviously, with his Seth Rogen laugh. No, that was, oh my god, that was awful. No, I'm done. You could clearly tell when Jonah Hill's character, I loved Michael Cera's character as a deformed hot dog. I thought that was really, really funny, actually. Salma Hayek, you could clearly tell with her voice when she's on screen. Kristen Wiig, even. And I think that the whole voice cast, overall, they fit the characters well, and these are funny people. Like, I've seen them in funny movies, so playing roles of various food, I think is really funny, and it worked very well to this movie's advantage. And like I mentioned earlier, the food is not the only thing that could talk in this movie. If you have bathroom cleaning products and they are sold, or feminine hygiene products even, and if they are sold in a grocery store, well, you bet your ass that that's going to talk, okay? So it made for some really great surprises. Overall, guys, the voice cast was great, and in the end, I really loved the world that was created before us. Yes, it's talking food, but I love how the food, maybe, they have secret underground passages, passageways, okay, for food to travel amongst the grocery store. Maybe they're partying in the alcohol aisle or something. I overall really bought into this world that was created before us, and I thought it was really creative. I thought it was funny. It's definitely excessive and over the top, but it really works for this type of movie and what it's going for. So I thought it really worked. And as an animated film, it's not like the animation is 4-star perfection, but it's good. It looks good, at least. And I gotta praise these people, these filmmakers, for going for a movie where they didn't, they're making an R-rated animated film. Okay, I'm not sure if animated comedy was their first intention. Probably it was, but definitely it's impressive. They've never worked on an animated film before, for the most part, at least. I don't think. So that worked for me very well. So yeah, the voice cast, the world, the animation is cool. Everything works for me. But what is the number one thing that matters the most about this movie? Is it funny? If Sausage Party isn't funny, if it doesn't feel fresh to me, then I'm not gonna like it. Honestly, that's what's riding the most. The animation could suck. The voice casting could be okay. I'll knock points off the score. But if this movie doesn't work as a comedy, I'm not gonna like it. And boy, guys, when Sausage Party worked, it worked and worked and worked. There are some incredibly hilarious, near gut-bustingly funny scenes in this movie, guys. I kid you not. There were moments I was laughing into the next. I couldn't stop. I couldn't control myself. There are a few stale moments that might not have worked. There were a few dry moments where maybe we don't have a joke. Maybe we're setting up the plot or we're setting up the relationship between the characters. But all of the type of jokes that you come to expect from a Seth Rogen movie, as I mentioned before, weed jokes, sex jokes, all of that stuff, the profanity and everything, that all worked and landed for me for the most part. I thought it was pretty funny. I love how there's this insane plot device involving weed, or whenever you get high and as a human and it involves the food, it's really freaking smart. It's really good writing. And ultimately, as a comedy, Sausage Party feels refreshing to me. It doesn't feel like something I've seen before in that respect. It's talking food, talking smut food. They're all excessive. They're all over the top. They're all vulgar, and they all curse a lot, and they all have sexual fantasies just like people do, like in Seth Rogen's other movies. They all look up to gods, and by the time that they realize important things in this movie, that the gods will eat them, they're not going to look up to those gods anymore. It says a lot of things about religion as well. It's really, really smart writing, and really, really interwoven into the movie very well, in my opinion. So the jokes work. They land very well. The characters are funny. I liked them. I thought they were well defined. I thought they were interesting for a comedy. And above all, guys, the laugh out loud moments are what remind me of why Sausage Party is a good movie, and it's a movie that works. There's funny sequences. There's funny one-liners you better catch quick, miss, or catch them quick before you miss them. And in my opinion, guys, Sausage Party straight up has one of, if not one of the best finales of all time. For a comedy, of all time, for sure. It's the funniest scene of the movie. I'm not going to spoil it whatsoever. It's an all-out just... It's raunchy. It's way, way ridiculous and insane. And it just gets, literally, that's the beat that this movie follows. It gets more and more ridiculous and absurd and over the top as the film progresses. And that's fine with me. I was fine with that. By the time we get to that finale, man, holy crap, that was a crowd pleaser. My entire audience, I saw this Thursday night, early 9:30 p.m. showing. My entire audience and we erupted and burst into non-stop, incessant laughter, and we could not stop laughing. It is one of the funniest things I've seen in a comedy, and I don't know how long it is. The final 5 minutes alone, final 6 to 5 minutes alone of this movie is worth the price of admission. I kid you guys not. My only flaw with Sausage Party, guys, my one problem I had with this movie is we kind of broke the plot points into we're following different characters. Like, we're following Seth Rogen and Kristen Wiig in one setting, and we're following Cera and Jonah Hill and recently purchased food items from the grocery store in another setting. And I honestly feel that we needed to get to Cera and Jonah Hill's characters sooner than we did in the movie. They're in the beginning, they're in the opening, and then they don't come back into the movie until around the 45-minute, 50-minute mark. And I honestly felt that was too late. I was honestly waiting scene after scene. I was like, when are we going to get back to those characters? I want to see what hilarious shenanigans they're going to get into outside of the grocery store. Even though it's in the trailers, I wanted to get to that sooner. And I feel that honestly, placement-wise, that just needed to be placed earlier in the movie than where it was, because I kept wanting scene after scene of Seth Rogen. Don't get me wrong, those scenes were cool and funny, but I wanted to get to that other scene quicker. So I just feel there's a placement issue and just a lack of balance of those two plot points. Other than that, guys, Sausage Party is great. It's creative, it's fresh, it's original. At the same time, it's so absurd and ridiculous that you are going to have a blast with it. There's great funny moments in it, great gut-bustingly funny moment in the finale. It's perfect. I really enjoyed it. I had a blast with this one. I give the filmmakers credit for doing something different for sure. Guys, in the end, I'm going to give Sausage Party a solid grade of a 9 out of 10 or an A-. I definitely recommend you guys check it out. If you felt that comedies were lacking this year, this summer specifically, go see Sausage Party. I think you'll really enjoy it if you love Seth Rogen movies for sure. So guys, there you have it. Those are my thoughts on Sausage Party. First R-rated animated film ever. My goodness, I need to go eat something. It's Friday morning. I gotta go eat breakfast or something. Holy crap, I'm hungry now. Just thinking about the movie. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Leave me your thoughts down below on Sausage Party if you did already see the movie. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching my videos. I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.